Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
And is Hershe still flying high from 300 subscribers or 200 subscribers yesterday?
300.
I am.
Already projecting the future. 300.
Yeah.
Right. I caught that.
That's Thomas's. We're going to get him to 300.
Yes. Let's get him.
Hi.
Hi, Jeff.
Welcome
Hi.
to the shit show. No, I was kidding.
Thank you.
Sorry, Thomas. I didn't mean that.
And Heather.
Heather, I just wrote you back and said yes.
Okay, sounds good.
So Heather's another winner in the tarot scavenger hunt, which would.
By the way, may I
Man.
say, Gerald, if you're watching, yes, that was a bench. Just because the devil was big and took up the whole entire seat, it was a bench. And if it came down to it, I would have had a box Tom for it to get you that win. I'm just kidding though. But it didn't come down to that.
And
That
Jeff,
was tough yesterday.
Hi.
Jeff, you have a Kindle announcement for everybody.
Oh,
if you
yeah,
would.
that's right. The book, Some Good Writ, that I wrote, the poetry book.
Some Good Writ. That's the name of it.
Well, see, I thought it was 0 because it said countdown. I thought the countdown meant the days before which it wouldn't be 0 anymore. It's $1.99 at Kindle. So if you want to go and buy it, you can. To anybody out there who sees this after the live or
What is it called again?
Some Good Writ by Jeffrey Bailey. And it's
That's on my wish list. I want it.
W-R-I-T is how you spell writ.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What by Jeffrey what?
Bailey, B-A-I-L-E-Y.
Think of Bailey's Irish Cream.
I would have gone. I wanted to do 0. I thought it was 0, but I looked stupid on the video I did for it this morning and I didn't. My guides told me not to take it down because I was reading on Elon Musk and his drug addiction, so I didn't want to take it down.
Well,
I don't really use my Kindle, but I have the app, and I'll definitely support you. Even if I'll still read it, but I don't usually use it. But I'll get it for that.
I don't. You know what the funny thing is? I don't either, but I use it. There's I ordered a tarot. Actually, I ordered it on CD, a talking CD about the different cards. I'll have to show it to you guys when I get it. I'm not getting it for like a week. I'll probably email you the link, but I don't use the Kindle really at all either. Because I like to have a physical copy in my hand.
Well, reading just puts me to sleep nowadays. So
that does me too. Yeah.
That's why parents read bedtime stories to their children.
I would fall asleep reading it to them. They'd be like, "Dude, Mom, finish the story. Wake up."
There we go. The story of the Hanged Man. The Hanged
Right?
Man. There you go.
Well, after all, tarot is stories, right? As Tom's saying,
Yes,
tell
they are.
stories.
They tell a story.
If I ramble on long enough, I hit on something.
And Jeff has agreed to join me again this month for doing another tarot and poetry where we share our own written poetry and we do tarot reads. So make sure to keep an eye out for that too. That was a lot of fun.
And of course, the psychoteropathy started last night, everybody. I did a test run of it just so people could see what it would be like. In other words, we take a card, we look at the card, whoever is wanting a reading, the first thing they see on the card, and then I will give you my quote unquote for entertainment purposes only diagnosis with the card based on a 2-sentence or 3-sentence haiku, like 575, and then you can self-diagnose yourself. So it's
there you go.
psychoteropathy, yeah,
That's
like psychotherapy. psychoteropathy.
Yeah, kind of like
And a
that.
cross between sociopath, sociopathy, and whatever. Hangman, I found it. Okay.
Hi, Laura. Hi, Scorpio.
Oh, I don't have my thing up. Hi, Laura.
Oh yeah.
Hi, Serena.
Hi, Serena.
I should maybe put my phone up.
So, what are we doing today, teacher?
We are talking about the Hanged Man. And why I call him my nemesis card is before I delved into tarot, we have a local Renaissance festival in the fall that runs for 8 weeks. And they have a fortune teller's ground, and you can get tarot cards read or your palm read or the bumps in your head, phrenology. So I would get tarot readings, and every year it seemed I would get the Hanged Man in my reading. And I got tired of seeing him, but now with knowing that it's associated with Pisces and Neptune, that of course I would get that card over and over because the religious and the hidden aspects are part of the makeup of a very Piscean person, and I am nothing if not Pisces.
Me too. Especially my life path is a 12-3, the way Jane does it.
Ooh, I like that hangman.
Yeah, remember the bat? I made sure I brought that because I know you love the bat when I showed you the cards.
Oh, I like it.
Upside down bat.
So our upright keywords are surrender, letting go, gaining new perspectives through sacrifice, the release of old patterns or views, and that lead to personal transformation and enlightenment.
Ooh. I want to be enlightened.
And our reverse: resistance, delays, reluctance to let go, inabilities to see things from a new perspective, stagnation, and missed opportunities. So I was seeing the Hangman as the reverse paintings when I kept getting him time after time.
Yeah, stalling. In my book, I have my my tarot book by Tina Gone. Really great book. And yeah, she has an interpretation, a reflection, an action, and some of the things that I've highlighted is basically what under reflection, it's what are you sacrificing? How does seeing the bigger picture shift your viewpoint of what you are giving up? So the wisdom to know that when the time is right for something to happen, it will. So that was the upright. And then with the reflection for reversed, it says you may feel as though life is no longer on hold. What sacrifices did you have to make to reach this point? And the question is, was it worth it? Are you frustrated by the lack of progress you've made in pursuit of your goals? Do the next steps depend on other people or external circumstances? That's my little offering. Great prompts for journaling too when you're writing and sending your tarot cards.
And Stephanie from Trillium Tarot joined us. She did a walkthrough of Yuletide Tarot this morning. So if you want a good winter Yule deck, that looked very, very promising.
I need to invest in one, most definitely. And the Lenormand has a cool Yuletide, also the old Victorian style. Wow, how many hangmen do you have, Hershe?
At this exact moment, I pulled 20 out, but I still got 35 on the shelf to find my Odin card.
Holy
wow.
I'm gonna find my damn Odin
Hashtag
card.
overachiever.
Well, if she has like over 100 decks, she technically has over 100.
I do. I have over 100 decks.
Well,
guys.
wait, if that includes Oracle, then never mind. I don't know.
Yes, it does. It does.
There's so then
Altogether, I have over 100 decks.
What I find so interesting about this, and one of the reasons I'm hung up on this card, is in the regular Rider-Waite, when you pull it out, sometimes it looks as if it's upright when it's upside down and vice versa. So what Heather said about reflection really resonates with me, because dependent upon what meaning you're predisposed to based on the cards before or after, it can definitely shape stuff. But what I like about this one that I have is it's all his senses are, if you look at it, he's bugging out from all of his senses being pulled out, like the sensory perception. His eyes are out, his ears are kind of coming out, and he's, of course, he's hanging. So the idea of voluntary surrender just seems to me like we want to think that's an oxymoron. We're predisposed to thinking that it could be. Some people are anyway, but it's really not. So dependent upon which side you're reading the card, I think that that's so key about the voluntary surrender, because if you are going to see things, as Heather said, with reflection, or you're just going to see a reflection for superficial reasons in the card, that's going to it's going to affect how you're going to view the reading. So, like, to me, if it's upright, it's it is about seeing things from a new perspective. If it's the other way, it could be a delay in that process, or it could be what do you want to say? Hung out to dry, almost, like there's nothing more that you feel you can gain in a situation. So I have a problem with this card because those things seem so general to me that it doesn't boil down to specifics about what it means, even within the context of like other cards around it. So that's why I find this card very difficult.
Interesting. Radical acceptance.
Stopping and smelling the roses, or just analyzing the situation as it is.
Yeah, and like the book says here, know what you can't control. There are certain things that are not in our control. We have freedom of, will and stuff, but there are some things that we cannot control, and it's depending on how we are willing to look at things from a different perspective, all perspectives, that we can take the next best and take control of that and move forward to change the situation to where, it benefits the most for the highest good of all, for ourselves and for others.
So I dove into the dictionary, right? Because that's kind of my thing. So in the very beginning of the book, it tells you that these meanings start in 1392.
Whoa.
Wow.
And then it's updated in 1488, 1748, and then it jumps to the 19th and the 20th century, right? This book was printed in 75.
Holy.
And it says the hangman. It originally started, he says, from the best of my knowledge, Paul Hudson and Alfred Douglas were the very first people to point out the significance of the hangman and his direct connection to the All-Father, Odin. It was during a translation written in a poem by him that I realized that the Elder Edda had occurred the following knowledge on that mind frame of thinking, that this is the All-Father Odin. Now, the poem is a little hard for me to reach because it's from 1392, y'all, so bear with me. So it says, wounded I hung on a wing-swept gallows for 9 long nights, pierced by a spear. I pleaded to the All-Father Odin. I offered myself unto myself, the wisest known, not from where hints of spring, the root of the ancient rod. Odin gave me no bread, he gave me no mead. I looked down and I cried aloud. I took up the runs and you fell from the tree. I'm going to work on the poem and trying to deep dive it and understand it and find out exactly what he's trying to say, but I swear I feel like I'm in the middle of a Shakespeare metaphor, because I know there has got to be a very deep meaning to this, and it resonates as Odin to me anyway. It's the pagan in me. So I absolutely love this card, and at this moment, I'm going to figure out the poem. This is
I
my.
had a really dark vision when I heard that. A vision of
I
slavery.
did too. Well, I didn't get
I
slavery, but I
Christianity.
definitely got somebody that did it for selfish reasons. They didn't do it for
Yeah,
themselves.
they didn't.
You know,
Yeah,
they did it for somebody else, thinking that they would gain that enlightenment. And because of that, you got no bread, you got no
you've
meat,
got no meat, you've got no
and
alcohol.
you got nothing. You know, here's the runs, figure it out on your own, because you didn't do it for yourself. So, like I said, I'm not sure, but that's the first place my gut goes in it. But it is a very dark metaphor.
But it is
for me.
descriptive of what the card is.
Yes.
You know, and it does portray the idea that if you're wedded to one idea, to something, you will be stuck in. It's almost as if you're. I don't want to say the way they like hang yourself, but you
But you
will.
kinda
Caught in
do
your own
though, right?
delusion.
You'll deceive yourself, or you'll do something to yourself. I don't know.
Absolutely.
You spin your own spider web and you get
That's
caught.
what I find so difficult about the meaning of the card.
Well, this meaning that I have right here says the hangman is seen as a highly significant card, although many of its meanings are hidden. It can be deeply layered. This card reveals wisdom and prophetic knowledge we have not tapped or discovered lying dormant beneath the surface. The hangman tells us that sometimes it's necessary to hit our internal pause button if we need to put things on hold. Learn to step back and evaluate these small breaks and see them as valuable and necessary rather than just plowing ahead. The universe wants you to stop and breathe. Reverse, the hangman reveals an individual with no interest in learning about spiritual growth and who refuses to accept the need for sacrifice to evolve and develop. Watch out that you don't become overly self-absorbed or too caught up in material matters. Remember, there is a big difference between activity and productivity.
Nice.
That's a good depiction
Nice,
of
Michelle.
it. But again, I feel like the sacrifice idea, because like what Hershe said, when you're upright, you're still, you know what I mean? You're still hanging yourself. But I mean, if you're looking at something from a new perspective, that's supposed to be the positive reading of it. But then if you flip it upside down, that's where the reflection part that Heather said comes in. Like, how much are you willing to sacrifice is what I'm hearing, for the greater good or for your own good. And that comes back to Hershe's poem, because there was some of that in there too. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's why I find the card so tricky, because if I look at it, I still feel like he's suspended somehow. I mean, even when it's reversed, but he's standing. But then if you flip it, it's the more obvious meaning that he is actually.
But it's kind of
You know
like
what I mean?
people who are refusing to put in the work and want to just, like, I honestly, when I think of it in the upright, I kind of think of bigotry for some reason.
Yep.
But it's just people who are believing what they're told, forced thoughts, and not trying to figure it out for themselves and see from a different perspective and learn from something. It's just a lazy part of it, but
Yeah. And in this book here, it says that you are letting go of old habits, surrendering and ridding yourself of patterns that no longer serve you. So that's, again, it's it's almost kind of like a tower card. It's almost, it's like, your foundations got shaken up. You had to rebuild, but yet again, you rebuilt and you're still creating the same patterns. So, okay, maybe we have to turn you upside down for you to look up and say, okay, this is what um, I'm being forced to have to look at. And I think the poem with the runes is that once you gain that knowledge and you did the work yourself, with the runes and learning them, that gave you the knowledge that was able to help you become unhun, because you took the time to reestablish um, that equilibrium to a place of here I go again, self perception and reflection, that you could see yourself in those runes and know that you are a part of the runes, they are part of you, and as whole we are as above so below, within and without. And that's where I'm going to stop, because I don't know where that just all came from.
Can I tell you what Robin Wood says about Odin?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so um besides skipping to many decks, he does she got rid of the ropes because he's hanging there voluntarily. But the trees that he's hanging from, and I guess we should show you the Odin. Okay, just okay. The trees that he's hanging from are living because this is a growing experience. I made them ash trees to bring to mind Yggdrasil. What is that? It's the world ash from which Odin hung to obtain the knowledge of the runes. That's also why he's blonde, by the way. In a similar fashion, the discomfort he may feel in this position is something that he is going through deliberately in order to gain knowledge and wisdom. He has his hands behind his back and one ankle crossed over the other to show his total surrender to this attitude. Also, he makes his upper body, arms and head into the triangle, which is used as a symbol of the first degree of Wicca in our tradition. So it illustrates that he is on a new path of wisdom and is changing his priorities. His shirt is white to show the purity of his resolve in this. His legs too form a triangle, but with one point up, not one point down. Okay, it's a little cockeyed, but that's what I meant. Together with his red truths, this makes the symbol of fire or will. He's doing this through his own free will. The red truths also stand for courage in taking this step. If you don't see the second triangle, don't worry about it. I tried to draw him with his second leg not crossed over the ankles, but it looks like he was going to fall. So, anyways, um, around his head is a nimbus of light or a halo. This is to show the spiritual radiance that this position has given him, which glows against the grayness that surrounds him. That grayness, of course, is for balance, the night and day forces mingling equally. Sometimes when I'm reading this card, it seems to be the drabness of the viewpoint he had before, which is being lightened and purified by his new outlook. As always, it's how the card hits you in the reading that really counts. But I guess, what is the ash tree that Odin hung from to
So,
obtain?
so in the myth, it was called the World Tree, and it had that name Yggdrasil.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
The world tree. Mm-hmm.
not that I didn't believe you about Odin, Hershe, but it's in this book too.
You what?
I mean, I wasn't questioning your thing about saying that it represents Odin, but it just tied it into this description too, I guess.
Okay, so
More of abyss.
in
And the
our
hangman is interesting too, just really quick, with the hangman and and it just showed too how the Christian patriarchy brought the symbolism, they used that for their symbolism for Christ on the cross, and the spear that pierced the heart, and the sacrifice, for to save the people. So I saw the connotation also, how again Christianity taking from pagan traditions and mythologies and religions and incorporating that into theirs to bring people to their faith.
Well, pagan was before Christianity.
I know.
Okay, I thought you said. Sorry,
No, I'm
probably
saying
didn't get one.
Christianity
Took.
took that to bring
Yeah.
that into theirs, to bring people into. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and if you trace the patterns of the legs where it's like crossed in fours, it can be like interpreted as crossing yourself.
The Father,
the
the Son, the
notion,
Holy Spirit.
yeah.
Yeah. So they did everything they could to manipulate the pagan,
To, well,
traditions.
to try
bring
to
people
lessen the onus of Christianity is like, oh, see, Christianity really aligns with paganism. Come join us and give us your money. 10%
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
Not
And
give
again,
us.
they
You
tend to
have to
sell.
give us, or you're gonna be punished, or something's gonna happen to you. You're not. You're
And
not doing what God said.
it's interesting how
Per
they end up.
Jane's request, Hangman from
Dark Abyss.
Terror of the Abyss. I have to say, outside of the representation of Odin, there is one deck that literally floored me on the Hangman, and that's the As Above. It's called the Circle. And it absolutely represents everything that the Hangman represents, but it represents the word, the circle, the sacredity of what we put inside our circles, just like what we sacrificed for the Hangman. You know, we sacrifice a lot for the Hangman, for the knowledge, for the fruit, for the gain that we're going to get when we do it for the right reasons and we do it for ourselves with good intentions. So in the deck, as above, um, it's represented by the circle.
If it were I'm just going to play student right now. If it were a superficial sacrifice, would it be reversed? Like if it were something to try to get something out of something, even if it's you sacrificing.
Anything, in my opinion, that you do for reasons untrue to yourself, you're doing it for selfish reasons. You're doing it for somebody else. You're not doing it with pure intentions, and karma is going to bite you in the ass for it because you're wasting its time. You're wasting your time.
Own
You're
time.
wasting the universe's world time by taking up space selfishly. And I think karma is needed
So
for people that are selfish like that.
So then upright or down in that
I
scenario.
believe in the reverse is
Okay,
selfish.
that makes sense. Okay.
Hi, Jane.
So,
you know what I mean? Because they sound like two disparate ideas that Hershe's saying. Because if you're sacrificing yourself summarily, and then you don't understand, like as Hershe pointed out, it's a selfish sacrifice because you think you're doing the right thing when you know you're not, or you think someone else wants you to do it when you know you're not.
Right.
So it's like what side does it fall under, up or down? And I'm glad she answered that, because down is where I would think in that case it would belong.
Well, for me, being a shadow reader, that's how it works. But I think about the story, like the actual story and the fables and the lore of it. I mean, he spent what 45 days or 45 nights or however long he stayed there. He sacrificed his family, he sacrificed his connection, he sacrificed food, he sacrificed water, and at the end of it they brought him food, they brought him mead, because he chose to show a form of strength that other people couldn't do. And he waited and he waited and he waited and he waited. So because of those pure sacrifices, like I'm willingly giving this up for Lent, then there is a payoff to it. Now, did I want to wait 45 days or however many nights he hung there? No, absolutely I don't want to, but I absolutely understand that for him and his kingdom and his world and his family and his people and his everything, he needed that, and they
because
needed
even
that,
in that there was a
the
delay for
all-powerful.
45 days, but it says, Thomas says, self-sacrifice and this potential for profound insight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in that case, it's upright.
Right.
But I see what you're saying. I see people falling into the trap of turning it downward. You know what I mean? Like we're reading it as an upright when it should be a reversal. Or
to me, it's an absolute reversal. That's why it's printed at the bottom, but he's hanging upside down. In every one of mine, they're upside down. They're literally upside down, and the words are at the bottom so that you understand that it's upright in this position. Like this is the position you want to be. This is a willing, I'm sacrificing my family, my time, my energy for a greater knowledge, for a higher calling, for my faith and my power and my belief. And there is gain behind it.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
It just reminded me of something. It might be kind of off topic, but like I never understood hunger strikes. But I guess it reminded me of that. I never understood why me striking without food is going to help you
Fast and all that.
about something
Absolutely.
else.
Yep, those are all in my mind. Those are their own version of a hangman. They're sacrificing something for the good outcome that they will receive because they are doing it with good intentions and a pure heart in the right way.
Even if it could come to self-detriment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just
Absolutely.
never understood how like nowadays
Become like a martyr.
it could make some. I don't know. That's like I said. It's another topic. We could go into that. But it reminded me of that.
So being suspended, he's shown hanging upside down, signifying a state of pause in life. So he's got to take time out from the everyday just to do this symbolic reflection. And the posture of surrender is a willingness to let go of control. That's a hard one for me. I like to control situations. The bent leg symbolizes flexibility and adaptation. Ankles crossed represents a sacrifice or temporary setback. And the halo indicates spiritual enlightenment gained through the sacrifice. In some cards, he's shown with a pentacle or a bag of coins, and it reflects material detachment or the value of spiritual growth over material wealth.
Absolutely, Maruda. I completely agree with you. I literally almost just said that. I agree.
Hi, Maruta. I just wanted
I
to go
think
and grab another.
people that they go on them marathon walks or the marathon bike rides or whatever, they're doing it for a cause, like Maruta said. I support it. I support it. Everything that they're sacrificing, they're even sacrificing themselves. They're sacrificing their body. They're sacrificing mental stability because you don't know what you're going to go through while you're giving up what you're giving up, but you know that there is a gain. You don't know what the gain is, but you know it's a gain, whether it be as big as a grain of sand or as big as a 7-story building. That completely is up to the universe what your gain is, but there's a gain. And not knowing is anticipation to me.
Yeah, well, that's part of giving up control, is that you know you're going to gain something, but you really don't know
what a beautiful
until the end what the final gain is.
Beautiful card, Heather.
Is that the DNA strand?
There is a DNA
I just grabbed the book, and I love how in this
I love that
a lotus is opened, but it's in, well, he's reversed. It is still open, so it's still almost kind of like, for me, almost like an umbilical cord in a way. Like that's the root. He is the root, and as you know, you gain enlightenment. Then there's the blossom. It's from the Star Tarot, and
oh, I don't have that yet. Oh, I'm gonna.
It looks like you have another card with a DNA strand, Heather.
Yeah, it definitely has a DNA strand on the leg.
It's not an actual DNA, but I know it wouldn't have been allowed. But here she breaks down the and the key signals a need to withdraw from social opinions, old worn out beliefs and lifestyles. I just love how she just breaks down. It's the cosmic spiral of the divine,
which is our DNA.
Are they snakes, as in the caduceus around the legs, or just?
No, it's just universal DNA strands. Yeah, I probably could have used that.
They're definitely DNA strands.
Yeah.
It's like a wrap around, and then there's like the central right there, where you're rooted, where you're spiritually, where your Kundalini energy basically, starts. And I mean, these cards are, it's hard to see on the camera and on the screen, but the artist really put in a lot of symbolism into the cards. And what's great is it comes with a wonderful thick book. The pictures are all in color, and she goes through and breaks down all the symbolism from every image that's in
I
there.
literally just put that on my wish list. I gotta have that. I just fell in love with that deck just because of the Hangman card.
The
I
hanged
love it.
one, and then this one they called it the hanged one, and it says helps clear your confusion and your conflict, taking you to a deeper state
Yes,
of
Marina.
understanding.
Yes, the Star
Assists
Tarot.
you in releasing limitations and bondage by resetting the balance of your mind, body, and soul. You reemerge with a renewed perspective and purpose in your life. I really need to start reading this book again too.
Yeah, apparently I
Really,
need to
really
read
good
that
and
too. I like
insightful.
it.
Yeah.
It's a
By the way,
So,
Thoth. Well, of course it's Thoth, and of course that's why I'm attracted to it, because I love me some Thoth. Thothy. I'm a
so
Thothy kind of girl.
in the numerology of 12, it's that nice little summation, 1, 2, 3 altogether. Um, and so when we look at breaking it down into the one, unity and individuality, that suggests individuality, leadership, and new beginnings. And
Also, they're going to pull.
then we get to the 2, we get to our high priestess, and that's balance and duality, and partnerships in the context of the hangman. And it may signify the need to find equilibrium through the sacrifice. And finally, the 3 final number reduces down to 3. It's associated with creative expression and communication. So this, your Michelle's life path number 12, has the hangman plus the magician plus the high priestess plus
oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So
plus
And I
she's
learned
psychic
how to
too.
pull them too.
Yeah, well, why do you think I'm all over the place all the time?
Because the high priestess is psychic, I think.
This is the Truth Seekers Tarot, Maruda. And Miss Moonlight, it definitely looks like it's got a hell of a guidebook. I don't know. I'm gonna have to definitely have that. I didn't realize it was Thoth, and I have to have Thoth. I love Thoth. He's the man.
So I didn't know we were pulling the. I didn't think we were pulling any more cards. So
I
there's.
didn't either.
See,
Thomas tricked us because he sure
yes,
said
Thomas,
no.
should know better. But Hershe, I want to show you some more because I know you fell in love with this deck. This is the Fool from that deck.
Okay, well, show me afterwards and not during class.
This is the High Priestess that Thomas was just talking about, and there's the Empress.
Oh,
so yeah.
Good Lord. Yeah, you got to show me this deck after class. Sorry, Thomas.
Astrologically, we are aligned with the sign of Pisces. And so I guess I prematurely got ticked off with pulling this card, reading after reading after reading, not knowing that the hangman was associated with Pisces. And
I didn't either.
I mean, you look at Pisces, and I'm the poster child for Pisces. I'm fishy-washy. I'm spiritual.
That's my Shan. He's a Pisces.
Yeah, I'm a classic loner.
That's him.
Well, that's not only
it's not in the context of where the news is going to say, what did you know about your neighbor? Oh, he was kind of quiet, kind of a loner. Never thought he was going to shoot up the school or whatever. Not in that way.
Yeah.
But
so it says it's also affiliated with the constellation Orion. Did you know that?
Ooh.
Well, who's got Orion and Azazel tattooed on his chest?
Well, I don't know. Let me see if I can think about that. No, I'm just talking shit.
But not only is it my life path number, I'm a Pisces.
And I'm a Pisces on moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uranus, Neptune, and the 12th house all represent this transformational, deep insight of this card affiliated with the damn Orion constellation. And it says there's only 2 deities that are tied to it through this, and that's Prometheus and Odin, also known as, well, what's that word you said a while ago about when you said the tree? The what?
Yggdrasil.
Yeah,
YGDRASIL.
Yep. Yeah, that word.
Yeah. Ash.
Yeah, that one.
Ash tree. The ash tree.
So, new perspectives, it aligns with that Pisces quality of transcendence and willingness to navigate the depths of the unconscious. So, we're deep and we know it, and we can't really express exactly how we feel, but
Three struggles with communication, man.
Yeah, we struggle with communication mainly because we're alone and we're not used to talking to anybody but ourselves.
And I
social
mean,
media doesn't help.
And communication is right. I mean, is a broad term. When I say communication, I can't find the right words. I can't place my emotions. I can communicate well. I can talk to you, but I'm gonna tell you a story by the time I can spit out what I'm trying to figure out. I don't even know how I feel. Put it that way. I can't even figure it out.
Somebody says we just love to hear Tom ramble on.
Yeah.
So it says that the colorless topaz, the green blue turquoise, and calamine. But it has to be high grade calamine. Low grade calamine is not a stone for this card. I've never heard of a high grade calamine.
No.
And I don't think I've ever heard of a colorless topaz.
I have.
Really?
I've heard of
I
calamine.
haven't
We're
heard
going to
of
have to
calamine
get with
yet.
Garuda and find out what the hell that stone looks like.
But I know what the high grade and low grade is. There are high grade and low grade of all stones.
I don't know
Well,
what
I feel like
calamine.
an idiot.
What's a calamine?
Whether it be cloudy or gem quality.
So do you know what the ritual is for the hangman? A headstand.
Duh.
This is.
Right?
Never been a cheerleader.
What about if you just get on your bed and you hang off the mattress?
Nope. It says in order to do this, you must fully turn the body axis all the way on its head. So therefore, just do a headstand.
I used to be able to do a headstand and handstands. I haven't tried that in years, and I'm not going to.
I've never been able to.
I can see me trying now, right? Like I would probably find the only one
Just
magnet
against the
somewhere
wall.
on the floor, and I would be stuck in this.
Do it
position.
against the wall, so you can, and then what we'll do is you'll get a pillow right there, just in case. We'll put you against the wall, and I'll stand there and grab your leg, and then we'll hold you against the wall, and then I'll let go and see if you can hold it.
We're gonna try it. We'll film it, y'all.
I'll
I
grab
promise.
your
It'll
leg
be
and
fun
pull
this
up.
summer.
Like we used to teach the kids to do that.
So our hangman's planet is Neptune, and Neptune's linked with mysticism, spirituality, and subconscious. The connection between Hangman and Neptune emphasizes the theme of surrender. So, again, it's suspending. I would say that the serenity prayer goes with the Hangman. The knowledge of what you can control and what you can't control. And then the wisdom of knowing which is which.
Somebody said
If you're
something about one of my
masochistic,
books.
you guys, if you're masochistic, this would be reversed, right?
I mean, some of us always are mass statistics.
You know what I mean? Like that's like, would this be upright? Or yeah, because Hershe makes a good point. Some of us are always that way.
Some of us have to be because of the jobs we do. Like it's not a willingly choice that some of us make, but some of us work in a field where we have to literally program ourselves to think that way, with the environment that we work in. And I swear to God, in the environments I work in, sometimes I literally have to be that person. And it's not a fun place, but it is a place that is necessary. So yeah, I think it's always in the upright though.
Okay.
The only time it's selfish is when it's in reverse, and then you're definitely not doing it for yourself, and you deserve every freaking thing that's coming your way. But that's just me being a masochist again.
Well, I mean,
Just saying.
sometimes
Just saying.
it is for yourself though. Like from my experience, I feel like I always try to see other people's perspectives. I'm always in the hangman position in a way, but it's selfish reasons in the sense that I'm just trying to gain perspective. I'm trying to open my mind and be open to
But
all
you're not
things
doing it for
possible.
somebody else, so it's not selfish. When you're doing it for yourself, it's okay to be selfish. You're not technically being selfish. You're putting you first.
Well, I guess I'm confused on what you guys
That's
are calling
misconception.
selfish.
People think they're being selfish because they're
Me
putting
too.
them first, and you're not. If you can't put you first and take care of you, then you absolutely can't do it
But
for
how is
anybody
doing
else.
it
So
for
to do
somebody
it for
else
somebody
selfish?
else is asinine to me. When you can't do it for
So-
yourself first.
What I would say, Michelle, is you're curious as to somebody else's feelings, so you're trying to put yourself in their place. So that is not selfish.
Okay, so but how?
Trying to understand somebody
Thank you. Okay, that helps.
by
But
empathizing.
I don't understand it's selfish to do it for somebody else.
It
You're not
would
doing it
be.
for yourself.
It's
You don't actually want to do it. They want you to do it, and you're doing it anyway. Even though you know you don't want to do it, you're doing it in a selfish manner because you aren't putting all of you into it. You're putting all of your energy and hope into somebody else's hopes and dreams, and you get nothing out of it but a headache and
that's
karma.
where the delay interpretation comes from.
That would be
makes it
the
reversed.
reverse for me then, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So
see, because readers don't, I don't mean to cut anyone off, that readers don't tell you that. Let me back up a minute. Like a lot of people, like, this is about delay, but I'm glad we're having this conversation because until Hershe explained it, it didn't make sense to me. Go ahead, Tom.
So in the fake it to make it situation, it's like a coping mechanism just to get through. It's like let me do the routine stuff and until
You
my
manifest
head gets back into normalcy.
or until you manifest it. When you fake it to make it because you have to act like that's how it really is to create it, to manifest it.
Right. But and then if you're faking it to manipulate a situation, that is totally self-serving. So that's the negative aspect of people pleasing.
Yep.
Well,
I agree. I meant to tell y'all, I'm using today, I only pulled out 2 books. I pulled out my Aleister Crowley, and I will always have my dictionary of the of the tarot. So that's the 2 books I'm reading from for today. But when you say about the symbols, Thomas, so in my understanding, I even have it tatted on my arm. I have an ankh. But it's the #1 symbol, according to Aleister Crowley, that represents the Odin card is the ankh. The ankh is a form of a religious symbol, right?
I'm gonna get my symbol book.
Yeah, it's combining the cross with the never-ending circle, the eternity.
But it's all
I
about
understand.
everlasting life. May you have like it, right? It stands for like everlasting life and
Right.
afterlife.
There's something beyond
Absolutely. Okay.
physical.
So, would you agree that that would be the number one symbol? Not that I've ever seen this damn book say the number one symbol, but for right now, it says the first symbol that anybody should look for is the Ankh. I actually see it in every one of them where he's hanging upside down and they got a halo there.
How
I
do you
see the
spell
Ankh in
Ankh?
everyone that has a halo. Now, if it doesn't have a halo, I don't see the Ankh representation, but I can
Okay.
absolutely see the Ankh when there's the halo there.
Yeah.
I
How do
believe
you
it's
spell that, Hershe?
I think it's ANKH.
Okay.
Yes,
ANKH.
ANKH, yes. It says the number 2
It's the
symbol
Egyptian symbol.
is the blue lattice. What is the blue lattice?
Maybe it's that we saw on my card. The lattice. I think she mentions it as a lattice. No, she doesn't.
The lotus.
The lattice, that blue light coming down around the.
Okay, so I'll spell it. I could be saying it wrong. It's LATTICE.
No, lattice. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not saying it wrong. Look, y'all, I don't. My brain doesn't compute sometimes words, so I just want to make sure I was saying it right. But it says, side
This
note,
is a lattice.
make sure to look for the black snake and the green disc. I'm not sure what that means.
Well, ANKH is not in the symbol, so in book. So
This one has the snake. I don't like snakes, but there's the snake, and then there is the halo. So you got.
Yeah,
It's-
I have a lot of black snakes in mine.
I think Ankh is Egyptian.
It is.
It is Egyptian, I thought.
well, but
It
if
is.
I mean, we think it would be in here, but if I don't know, maybe not.
Okay, I mean, I'll get my book out.
It's okay. We can go over it later too. I was just curious because I had this, but and I'm gonna have to rewatch this video myself because I missed what how she described it earlier about that clarified a lot for Jeff. So
there's the Ankh. That's how you spell it, and that's the symbol.
mm,
And it
I've
says
seen that
here
cross
is
before.
it is the key of life in an ancient Egyptian hieroglyphic symbol used to represent the word for life and by extension as a symbol of life itself. The Ankh has a T shape topped by a droplet shaped loop. It was used in writing as a triliteral sign representing the sequence of 3 consonants. This sequence was found in the several Egyptian words, and then it goes on. So I figured I'd just stop there because Wikipedia goes
And
on.
then just with the symbology of that, it looks like the children's game Hangman, how you draw a stick figure.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I always thought that was like a cross.
Well, it says here in this one article that it has always been known as rather of a controversial word. You know, it originated from.
Celtic symbols.
Some have sandal strap. Okay, but yeah, or with another shape as the knot of Isis or a tayat, meaning which is also the meaning of which is also obscure. So that's new to me. And the most commonly repeated explanation is that it's the union of a female symbol, the oval representing the vagina or uterus, with a male symbol, the phallic upright line. But there's no actual evidence supporting that interpretation. But it's similar images, you know, the male and the female coming together, creating life, universal life, the one, you know. So I can understand that interpretation as well.
And if you've got colored pens and a piece of paper, or just a pen and a piece of paper, I want you to doodle while I read you a story.
Of course he does.
I have colored pens. I gotta go get them.
Oh. An artist without any colored pens near her or pencils. That's okay. I'll use
Okay,
mine.
can you
Yes, he does.
give me
Does
1 minute?
anyone have the Meta Mouse? No, but I sound Meta Muse. Well, I have the Muse Tarot by Chris Ann, but I don't have the Meta Muse. I sounds like a deck I
Yeah.
need to look at. I like inspirational decks. Doodling.
Is there anything that we're particularly doodling, or just random?
Just
Okay.
as you listen to the story, you can write down words, you can doodle, you can draw circles, you can draw boxes, whatever. It's an alternate form of automatic writing
Mm-hmm.
that we want to, with this story about the hangman meeting another tarot card.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm back. I got my
You didn't
deck.
want us to see you sit daintily?
Yeah, because I'm sitting on the floor. It's bad enough it was hard to get up when you're on the floor. Okay.
Okay, tarot story time. In the mystical expanse where the fabric of reality wove itself into cosmic tapestries, the Hierophant, a symbol of tradition and spiritual guidance, felt a calling to meet the hanged man. Guided by the unseen threads of destiny, the Hierophant journeyed through surreal landscapes until he arrived at the enigmatic realm where the hangman hung suspended in contemplation. The Hierophant, adorned in his ceremonial robes, greeted the hangman with a respectful nod. Greetings, wise one. The path has led me to your presence, where the dance of tradition and surrender converges. What wisdom do you hold in your suspended state? The hangman acknowledged the Hierophant with a serene expression. Welcome, keeper of tradition. In surrender, I find enlightenment. Hanging upside down allows me to see beyond conventional wisdom, embracing a different perspective that transcends the boundaries of tradition. The Hierophant, with a dignified demeanor, responded, I am drawn to the balance between the sacred and the unconventional. Your unique perspective intrigues me. What insights do you offer about the interplay of tradition and surrender? The hangman gestured to the surroundings. In surrendering to the unknown, I perceive the interconnectedness of all teachings. Tradition and innovation become harmonious when one releases rigid adherence and allows the currents of wisdom to guide. The Hierophant nodded in understanding, his eyes reflecting the depth of ancient knowledge. In the sanctity of tradition, there lies a dance with the eternal. I find the roots of wisdom run deep, yet there is a sacredness in embracing change and surrendering to the flow of divine guidance. As they sat in a contemplative silence, the Hierophant began to share his insights into the teaching he upheld, stories of sacred rituals, the passing down of ancient knowledge, and the role of tradition in providing foundation for spiritual growth. The hangman listened and appreciated the Hierophant's commitment to preserving wisdom. Your tales are woven with the threads of tradition, a tapestry that connects generations. In surrendering to the essence of teachings, one discovers the timeless truth that transcends the limitations of conventional understanding. The Hierophant smiled, and what about you, Hanged One? What revelations have you found in your suspended state? The hangman spoke of enlightenment gained through letting go. In hanging upside down, I see the dance of sacred and unconventional truths. The wisdom of surrender reveals a path beyond the constraints of tradition, guiding one to a deeper understanding of the universal teachings. In this meeting of tradition and contemplation, the cosmic conversation unfolded. The Hierophant, anchored in tradition, found resonance in the hangman's wisdom of surrender and interconnectedness. The hangman, in turn, appreciated the Hierophant's dedication to preserving the sacred teachings. As their insights intertwined, the tapestry of destiny absorbed their shared wisdom, weaving a narrative that bridged the realm of tradition and surrender. The Hierophant, carrying the essence of this encounter, continued on his journey, guided not only by the wisdom of tradition, but by the profound lessons in the realm of the hangman. So you just did your homework for today. You just doodled while you had story time.
Oh my God.
I think, Heather, you're muted.
I am, because I didn't want to make noise because I was talking to myself. Sorry. No, this is some interesting. I don't know where this stuff is coming from, but okay. And I loved how Michelle laughed.
Laughing at my doodle.
The laugh of them.
So, did you draw a picture? Did you end up drawing words? Did you just?
I drew something.
I tried drawing the hangman.
I was drawing some. I don't know what I was drawing, but
It
looks
looks
like
like you're drawing signs and sigils.
yeah, or language or letters or something. So yeah.
Does it look like? I tried giving him blue eyes.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite games to play as a kid. You pick a word and it's like guessing the letters, like Wheel of Fortune, except it said Wheel of Fortune. It was the hangman. Isn't that interesting? Ooh.
Hershe, what you draw? She's a great drawer. She draws so well. What about you, Jeff?
I wrote.
What's up, buddy?
I wrote words. I wish I could draw. I just wrote
I can't
5
draw,
things.
y'all. She's lying.
Dogma, like the dogma of the Hierophant, gives way to something more spiritual, not rebellion, like the Hierophant, reversed. Transcendent energy and the idea of merging the contemplation with the tradition. So you're open to the scholarly, which is the Hierophant, and a totally more almost, I won't want to say practical, but unique perspective the hangman gives you. And then I got, for some reason, that destiny that connects the two is the story of the eternity and the universality of man.
Cool.
Deep. That's good. As I hear him trying to draw.
I expected nothing less from Jeff, because his mind can
beautiful.
Create beauty in words that sometimes the ugliness of words, when they're put together in the correct way, becomes beauty.
Thank
and
you.
Also, what's interesting is the Ankh is associated, according to Hershe or Tom, with the hangman, but also in some representations of the Hierophant in different decks, there is a Ankh being held by the Hierophant. So there's also similarity or sharing of symbols amongst other, major arcanas.
So I
hold on, Hershe, don't be putting that away. We need to see your beautiful artwork.
No,
I put that story together for Hershe because she has
no.
So she has difficulties with the dogma connected to the Hierophant.
I do. I struggle with it.
I just wanted to show you that he means he means more than just the dogma of religion.
Mm-hmm.
Like being dogmatic about something, like not radical, but emphatic, or like not willing to budge on it.
Miss Moonlight, I like that idea. I'm gonna have to check that out. I've got blank cards on my wish list. I'm gonna have to get that. Draw my own deck.
Oh, I've done that with writing words and stuff and stuff.
I'll
Stickers
probably
too.
draw my own deck.
Sticker books too.
Oh, that she said bank because it was typo. I was like bank tarot. Like what? Okay, blank.
Blank.
Who wants to
So-
see Hershey's drawing? Say me.
So Hershey
Wait
did
till
that
after the live.
did that
I won't force you.
lessen some harshness towards the Hierophant? That story.
So it's strictly a mental thing for me, and I only struggle with it when I'm forced to look at it as a pope reference. Like in my head, the Pope is bad, guys. That's just me. That's just my opinion. I don't care who does not share it with me. I don't speak on it because it's controversial. People get in their fifis. And again, I don't give a damn, but I have to respect that. So my moral code being part of the universe, part of a pagan, part of a world that doesn't really know which direction is up or whether they should wind their ass or scratch the watch, leads me to a belief system that draws in on the ancient part of it. And that's the part that, you know, we can look at the here and now, but if you take the here and now out of it and you go back to a place where you have the emerald tablets and you have Hathor and you have all these great gods and goddesses and immortals that believed in so many things, the symbolisms of the runes, literally, like I'm sitting here drawing runes, y'all. Like I'm drawing runes and keys and trees. Like, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing something along that line. So I think I want to find a stronger connection, Thomas, but I don't think I'm going to find it with the Hangman and the Hierophant, because to me they are so different, even though they do have so close of a walk together. You know, in the tarot deck itself, they're very close together, and therefore they walk a lot of parallels together. They cross a lot of the same lines. They work with a lot of the same people, but they have such a different mind frame to me that I'll never see the Pope as somebody that sacrifices anything. I'm sorry, I won't.
Well,
I see that man as the man that's got his hand out, expecting everybody to
That's
give.
how I feel too about the
That's how I
Hierophant.
feel.
those two.
That's why I love this Hierophant.
I'll never see
Those
them
two
as
cards
people.
are.
I don't know. I'm weird.
Those two cards sort of show the diametrically opposed political state of our country right now. You've got
Yes.
the Hierophant, the staunch right wing, and then you've got the Hangman, the free liberal thinkers, and they couldn't be further apart, but yet they have commonalities.
I get it. I get it.
So,
I'm not saying that I don't.
Did you draw sigils or symbols or?
I did. I drew runes and sigils and symbols, and I drew a tree, and I just drew some ancient shit. I drew Hathor's symbol. I drew different shit, you know, the first thing that came to mind, and everything is pretty much ancient and older than the 1300s. So, you know.
She's a great drawer. Don't let her kid you.
I am not. Stop saying that.
Okay, so you're not Picasso, but you're still a great drawer, okay? Drawer.
Okay, thank
draw, bro.
Artist.
Draw a little bit. I can draw a crooked line.
So in studying
Better than I
the
can.
Hangman, it wanted to associate the Hangman with the next three cards in the deck. the devil, temperance, and death.
Love, love, love.
And since we hadn't come across those cards yet, I didn't want to put that as part of this study and run ahead, so to speak. But just be ready for next week. Next week is the devil, and it is a trigger card for some people. It's a trigger or invigor card. We'll call that the devil.
Love it.
But get ready for inevitable changes and distractions and manipulations, whether it be yourself manipulating situations or seeing things not as they really are. And that's what we have for next week. Thank you all for joining me.
Thank you for having
us.
Thank you for having me.
And Heather, what's your upcoming shows?
The only thing right now that I have coming up is the traditional. I may very well do a pop-up here maybe, but I have my Wednesday investigative tarot. Haven't come across a case yet that resonates. We'll be looking into that probably today. Especially I got my cards finally in from the lady in Etsy 2 months. I got my cards with my DNA strand. Just 2 minutes too late. And then I have my Friday shows with Allison. So, but somewhere in between, I'll probably fit something in. And then Jeff and I will be getting together at some point on an upcoming Sunday this month to do our poetry and tarot together. So.
And Jeff, I noticed that you're getting more and more regular at posting.
Yes.
15 to 20-minute things.
Yeah. I'm trying to do more lives right now because I find the energy just in a live exchange is more effective for me personally. Not just in a reading sense, but if it's geared towards the themes that I have right now, which are the psychoteropathy, and I want to do more interactive stuff because I'm getting I wouldn't say gun shy about the political or tired of it. I don't find that really a lot of the people that come to my channel really want it, even though I do. So I'll keep doing it. But I really want to try to broaden. If you go back to the beginning of my channel, I had a lot of stuff with series that I wanted to keep going with, but I didn't keep, like, there were different ideas, like, like spontaneous tarot in the cards, or Mad Lib tarot, if anyone knows what a Mad Lib is. And I would take the card, or that sort of thing. So
you're talking about like from the 80s Mad Libs?
Yeah.
Like early 90s, late 80s?
Mm-hmm.
Because I would think I was living in Tallahassee when them damn tear off paper booklets came out for Mad Libs, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah.
I like it. So I'm kind of just gonna go back and revisit those, but I also have something in the pipeline as far as someone might be coming on the channel about to discuss. I met them at a metaphysical store about Ouija boards.
Ooh, I like
so
those.
I'm pretty psyched about that because I've been talking about it, but I've been no action about it. So I really
like them kind of tools. I like your spirit board that you read on. I love it. But where I'm at, my roommate doesn't approve, so I can't have any of my afflames or my boards. It's like, I miss my boards. So, yay. I'll be excited to watch that one, Jeff.
I'm gonna be excited too. Yeah.
And if you have access to Kindle, dear listeners, please go to Kindle and download Jeff's poetry book for $1.99.
Okay, so
for
is there some
free
sorcery
or
going on?
whatever it is.
Some good
And
writ, some good,
some
some good writ. WRIT.
And
Love it.
thank you, Jeff and Heather, for being on. Thank you,
Thank you for
Michelle.
having us again.
And hopefully now that you have your Robin Wood, that you're able to play along easier. And
Yes, Gerald. I I have to review myself. I lost stuff. I think I have 2 windows open with you guys, so I'm causing
yeah,
feedback.
Yeah, I
we
was
had
wondering what kind of
to go
sorcery
somewhere.
was going on. Is she on stage or not?
Yep. That dreaded circle. Black screen with the little white circle.
Yep.
I'm like, no.
I have a lot of feedback. So.
And Hershey, you've got Meta Monday, and is Jane going to be your guest tomorrow?
Yes. As surprised as I am, she wants to do it again, and I love when somebody wants to jump on there with me. I love the
I had
energy
fun the
of it.
last time. Yep.
Yep. You're welcome to come back anytime you want. Anybody can come back. Or come for the first time. But yep, I've got meta messages. This Tuesday, I'm going to possibly do a test run on something. No promises, but I do have a Tuesday show coming in the very, very near future by the end of next month for sure. I have my shadow reads on Wednesday with Thomas. And I think that's all until Saturday for Spirit Box Saturday.
Box Saturday, yeah. Okay, well, thank you for being with me, and thank you, chatters, for stopping by
Yep.
for
Thank
this
you.
educational
See
hour.
everybody.
Remember, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and go out and make it a great day.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys.